been to Hale and Hardy, and also right across the street there's Kava or something
It's
like
called,
that. There's so many.
Dig In's good too.
Dig In's really good. Go there.
You do good with Dig In.
Dig In is good.
Yeah.
Fresh.
I'm going to count you guys in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
It's a long
4,
count.
3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Glam Mirror. I've got 2018 Super Bowl champion Bryan Braman in here. How are you?
I'm well.
You are well. Let's all come on, everybody clap. Woo! Yeah. Wow. Okay. What an exciting game. How exciting.
The feeling is indescribable.
Indescribable,
yeah,
right?
It's overwhelming. I was crying like a baby.
I would too. I see the only time I see men cry is at Super Bowls or when they give birth to babies. Well, not them, their wives.
No, yeah.
Did you cry more now or when you had your kids?
Yeah, I don't think I cried as much when my daughters were born.
So there you go. It's actually kind of nice because I know that was such an overwhelming feeling. And, you know, some people were asking me, because I'm from New York, and so they were asking me, who are you rooting for? And, you know, hear me out. I went to Michigan. No, I wasn't rooting for Patriots.
I don't like where this is going.
No,
yet.
but I was from Michigan. I'm from Michigan, and I went to school around the same time Tom Brady did. But I thought to myself, you know, I kind of want to see an underdog win. Like, they've never won. Philadelphia's never won. And I would like to see that happen. And it happened.
It did.
And what a game.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
What is like so impressive to me is the offense. Just there was one punt. We punted it one time. New England didn't punt it at all.
They kept missing.
It was incredible. It was unbelievable.
So, okay, real quick. What did you do? I'm taking questions from people who knew you were coming in today.
Yeah.
I got to start with these questions. What did you do, like, after winning? Like, right there in that moment. How did that feel?
I mean, I really just, the way that all of my buddies and everybody on the sideline looked at each other like, we did it.
Yeah.
Like, we're the best. There's like the pinnacle. We're at the pinnacle.
Yeah.
There's no more games after this. There was only 2 teams playing in February. We were the one that came out on top. It was incredible.
How did you celebrate after? Can you talk about that?
Are we talking about
secret?
on the field, or are we talking about?
I want to hear the juiciest part of your celebration.
Man, you know, just being able to spend time with my guys.
Yeah.
You know, the time and effort that went into it, the sacrifices and everything. It was fun to be able to celebrate with them, going out, you know, seeing all the wives and the families and stuff like that for the after party and stuff, the coaches. You know, that's really like the only one. That's one time that you really have that connection with the coaches. You know, because they're always like hard nose to the grindstone. Yeah. Like they don't want to confuse you with what kind of relationship they have with you. It's like strictly
they're not trying
business.
To be your friend.
And then at the after party, it's like, I mean, shots on shots.
Was there anything that crazy that happened? Was there anything like Xeroxing of the ass or anything like that?
You know, I wasn't there for that. But
he pleads the fifth. All right, gotcha.
There was some interesting, you know, mix of characters, and, you know, sometimes personalities don't mix, and when alcohol is involved and emotions are running high like that, you know, sometimes things can kind of get a little hairy.
So you're saying that may have happened a little bit.
Something like that.
Was there anybody that you wish, like when you were celebrating, you were amongst all your colleagues, was there anybody that wasn't there that you wished could have been there, part
of course. Everybody that really took a part in it, you know, from the time that I was a child until now, you know, I never did it for anybody that said I couldn't. I did it for everybody that stood behind me and said that I could.
I like that.
I really would have loved to be able to share and let them experience it. But everybody that knows, you know, who they are to me and how much they mean to me and the part that they played in the role of getting me here and allowing me to pursue my dreams and stuff. I really wish I'd have been able to share it with them, but unfortunately $17,000 a ticket, you know, it's kind of hard to get.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was 16,000. I may have been able to make it, but 17.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was a lot of you know, when I look at your history, because I got to talk about that. You've come from a lot of lows. You've had some highs. This was your highest high, I'm sure. But you've had some lows. And, you know, when I was reading about it, I thought it was so special because you really are a person who struggled and had to come back multiple times. And what can you teach people? What can you teach me about your mindset during those low moments? Because you were kicked out of college, you were on the streets, you were moving a lot as a kid. These are struggles that you had to go through.
I've noticed as I've gone up and down that the lows will only last as long as you allow them to. You know, you gotta keep pushing forward. You know, lean in and really just press on. It's hard.
Yeah.
And you know, there's gonna be times where you don't feel like you're gonna be able to pick yourself up, but when you do get up, it feels a lot better when you're actually standing. You get knocked down, and it's a little bit easier to get up the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, because that's what life is, right? Life is it's hard. It's not easy. You know, it's not easy to be successful. It's not easy to be able to pursue your dreams, and as much as there are dream suckers out there that, you know, they just crush you. You know, that you come up with an idea and they're pessimistic, like, oh, that's not going to work, or this isn't going to, well, maybe you should do it this way, because, you know, and I understand everybody wants their little part in it, and everybody wants to have the best idea, but I mean, you know, just keep pushing forward. If you love something, go for it, and doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, you just keep pushing.
I liked what you just said about the lows will only last as long as you allow them to.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I mean, you can't get too high when the highs are there. You can't get too low when the lows are there. But the biggest thing that I remember when I was really, really at my lowest was that there was no lower.
Lower.
You couldn't. I was already at rock bottom.
What was rock bottom for you? Did you have a few of them, or did you have one point where you're like?
There's a couple points where I felt like I'd hit rock bottom. I'd probably say through high school I had lost my grandfather. He was a real big, you know, male role model, kind of taught me.
Wasn't he like 7'4"?
He was a big boy.
He was a big guy. Yeah.
He was a big boy.
Genes running the family.
He was the one that really kind of taught me, you know, how I was supposed to carry myself, how to be a man. I'm kind of an old soul.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I got lost, and there was a counselor and my track coach in high school. They did a good job of making sure that I was on the straight and narrow. You know, they could see that I was struggling with it, and my grades were slipping, and they really helped me make sure that I was right. And then college, my first year out of high school, didn't do too well in school. Never was good in school. I basically did just enough to get by, so that way I could compete or stay eligible to compete. And then from there, I was kicked out of the University of Idaho, and that was really rough because so many people had worked so hard to get me to that point, and I was, you know, the first person in my family to really pursue a college education, let alone even graduate from high school with a diploma. So I just felt like I let down my entire family. They were all looking up to me.
You had a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah. And being 17, 18 years old, that's a lot, you know, so being such a young man, and, you know, the family names riding on your shoulders,
that's
and everybody's kind of looking at you and living vicariously through you, and really just wants to be a part of it. And, you know, just the humble beginnings that we come from, and the athletic ability that I had. Everybody's talking about, you know, possibly being able to go professional and changing my family's life. And at that point, I was, you know, I thought I threw it all away. $100,000 scholarship. I got kicked out of school. My grades were terrible. I thought my football career was over, and, you know, I wasn't going to be able to pursue that anymore. And just got really depressed. Really, you know, started hanging out with the wrong people.
Who could blame you for getting depressed? I mean, and just what you just said, you said something like, and I read this somewhere, and I really liked how you put this. You said you were hanging out with people who didn't care about their future or yours. I mean, and that's what really kind of woke me up, is when I woke up, and the people that I was spending time with, they knew what it meant to me to play football, to be that athlete, and talk about playing in the NFL and going to the Super Bowl. And I mean, they allowed me to sleep through the Super Bowl. I woke up and there was only a couple minutes left in the Super Bowl, and that's when it really kind of hit me, you know. They don't care.
as much as they know how much it means to me, they still allowed me to miss it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of that aha moment
Yeah.
where I was like, I need to call my mama. She needs to come get me.
Come get me, Mom.
Yeah.
But you know, the reason I think all this is important is because people are seeing you now, and the bowl win is incredible. But I really think that struggle maybe there's somebody out there who has given up, and you could have given up so many times, right?
Yeah.
In high school, college number 1, college number 2, and then again, you were let go, and for the first time in your 6-year professional career, at the time, it was at the end of 2016, you didn't have a team. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's another thing.
Contract expired with Philly.
Yeah.
And nothing really came out.
Yeah.
You know,
so it must be going through your head. Is my career over?
Yes.
Like, what do I do? Because you have to sit there and wait for the phone to ring for somebody to give you a job. So what are you doing at the time? You're being a dad to your 2 kids.
Yeah, just living
Sitting at
the
home.
normal life.
Yeah.
Really hoping I did right with my finances and make sure that I'm lining up,
And that
the
wasn't
normal
that
9
long
to 5.
ago.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm 14 weeks ago?
Yeah. Isn't that
it
crazy?
Wasn't,
Yeah.
if that. I think 14's stretching it.
Yeah.
But it was week 14 in the regular season, so we were talking middle of November, really. And I mean, it's something special. It was awesome.
How did you keep yourself in a positive state of mind at that point? Because
I was struggling.
You were struggling.
If I'm honest.
Yeah, but it's okay
struggling.
because we want to hear that,
A bit of an identity crisis.
Yeah.
I learned real quick that I'm not a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, well.
I mean, as much as I love my daughters and I love being able to spend time with them and see them, and as much as my heart hurts when they're not around and not being able to hold them and hug them and
of course.
Just see them grow and kind of live through them. Everybody wants to go back and be a kid again.
Yeah.
So being able to live through them is something special. Seeing the energy and everything from them. But yeah, it was a struggle. The identity crisis, really just trying to figure out what I was going to do after football. If this really was it, do I just say, you know what, I had an amazing career. There was a lot of people that counted me out, and I ended up turning it into a 6-year career.
Yeah. Are you in your head? You're kind of preparing yourself for the worst. And I have to tell you, I have to identify with this because we've all gone through it. I've gone through it. People that I know have gone through it, where you're at that point where the phones aren't ringing, the emails aren't coming in. All you want to do is play football. All you want to do is live your dream, and it's not happening. It's not like you're out there to do evil things and like ruin the world. You just want to live your dream, and it's not happening. Yeah. So.
And I know that the NFL is like, and this was kind of where I was at. Was I'm 30. I'll be 31 in May, and I came out late in college, came out to the NFL, so I was a little bit older than some of the rookies that usually end up making it. And that's where I was thinking, I was like, I'm 30 and up. I'm in the 30 and up club in the NFL.
So you're thinking maybe I'm too old.
Yeah, you need to be aware of the old man in a profession where men die young.
Yeah, I hate that.
It was tough, but I had good people around me, people that were surrounding me, telling me that it wasn't over, and that's where it's at. Those are the people that you need in your life, and sometimes as much as somebody else is going to count you out, you definitely can't count yourself out.
Yeah,
and that's something that I really learned is it's never over until it's actually over.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why I find this so remarkable, because like 14, 15 weeks ago, if that, you didn't know it was going to happen, and here you are today. So when you've won, no wonder you were crying. I'm like, I want to cry now. But what was the moment that you thought about when you were in there and you're winning and you're thinking about, whoa, I just won? What brought you back like to a time where you were almost going to give up? Did you think about that when you were in that moment, or what were your thoughts? My thoughts were everywhere. Yeah.
Really when that clock hit 0 and we had won, there was about 5 minutes where it was just surreal.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, you see the lights and everybody's starting to rush the field and they're trying to get the gates and everything for everything, and it just I had to ask myself, is this a dream?
Really
did this really just happen?
Yeah.
And I mean, from then on, I was just looking for my babies. I wanted to know where my girls were.
Do you think they really understood what was going on?
I
Because they're
don't.
young, right? They're
Yeah.
2 and 4.
4, yeah, 2 and 4. And my oldest, she knows daddy's doing something.
Yeah. She knows daddy's doing something.
She's excited about it. She'll watch the games. You know, when she was younger, she'd do the Eagles chant, EAGLDS.
Oh, that's cute.
And you know, I don't think they fully comprehend the scale of
Yeah.
it. Like,
well, they'll be talking about this in the future. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really, really special to me is, you know, obviously being able to leave my kids with something, and just the levels of understanding, you know, the stages of development and comprehension that they're going to go through with this as they get older. And there's going to be, when she's 6, you know, there's going to be something that she comprehends that she didn't now. And then when she turns 8, there's going to be something that she comprehends about it that she didn't when she was 6
You're
or
totally
4.
right. I have 2 nieces. They're now 6 and 8, and I see them now as like little ladies. And there are things that I'm doing now that they understand and they get that 2, 3, 4 years ago they didn't.
Right.
So you're right about that. And so you just need to win again.
Of course.
You just need to win every year so they get it, right?
Back to back to back.
That's right.
The new dynasty.
Until they understand. That's how you have to do it. Let's go back to like this. There's some questions that I said my followers had for you.
Yeah.
What is a hidden benefit of being a professional football player that most people don't know about?
A benefit. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, you can talk about
everything
like
could be
the
an
comp
answer.
goods, the food, you know, being able to go in and having a fan pick up a dinner for you.
And that's happened to you.
A check. Yeah. I don't know if that's a hidden benefit, but yeah, I mean, just the little things, you know, going out and having a drink with a buddy and having a fan buy you a shot or something like that.
Just the gratitude that you get.
Yeah, the celebration, the joy that you can see that it brings them.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the, I guess, being able to, you know, kind of surprise kids, you know, when they don't really know who you are, and then their parents or something like that tell them, and you just see their face light up.
Yeah.
And the excitement and stuff, it's that, I think, to me is pretty special.
When I was reading about you, and a lot of the articles about you talked about how you're just such a natural athlete, like you could have done anything, really. Why football? What was it about football? You could have been a basketball player. I mean, just you had such a natural, you come from an athletic, your mother was a sprint champion.
Yeah.
Your grandfather was this big
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why football?
Just the physicality of it.
You like hitting people?
You know, I've always been big, and ever since I was a kid, you know, roughhousing and stuff, my mom, she was always telling me, Bryan, you don't know your own strength. And I remember getting hit one time when I first started playing football. Everybody was talking about it, and I got hit that one time, and I was like, wait a minute, you can do that?
Yeah.
Like, what?
You could actually hit people and not get in trouble?
Yeah. I didn't realize that you could do this. And then from there, it was like, oh, yeah. I the contact, just the feeling of being able to line up across the man from you and know that your personal battle with him has, you know, that 1/10 of an effect on the actual overall team and the outcome of the game. But if you're able to get all 11 men on the same page and impose their will on everybody that it's an unbelievable feeling.
It's truly a team.
It is.
So one of the other things that I heard you had said was like when people win, when you guys win, it's the entire team.
It is.
And that's what makes it so
and it's
special.
like not just the players. Like we're talking about the coaching staff. We're talking about the equipment staff that make sure that our helmets are, you know, shiny and not scuffed up. You know, jerseys are sewn up, and making sure that everything's tailored to fit proper, so that way we feel like we look good when we're out there, so we can play good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everybody, the front office, the back office, you know,
It's a full team.
I mean, it's unbelievable. All the way down to the guy that cooks the eggs in the morning for us. You know, it's incredible, and everybody gets to share in that. That's what's so great about it. Is there's plenty of it to go around.
And that's really cool, and I think that's important because, you know, something like tennis, I love tennis, but tennis is really a solo sport.
Yeah.
I mean, there's teams, there's coaches and things like that, but there's something about football that's so American. That's just like, it's why I think everybody loves it so much, because you got, I saw a 90-some-year-old Eagles fan, this man who had never seen him won, who they showed him after the football game, and he was celebrating like he was like a 2-year-old. You know, there's something really amazing and unifying about that.
Yeah.
So that being said, there has been a little bit of, you know, wonkiness going on, especially in the political climate. The White House. Are you going to be going to the White House?
So the team actually declined.
Okay.
Just as a whole, just to kind of show, again, the unity that that the organization has.
Yeah.
So, no, the Philadelphia, from my understanding, the Philadelphia Eagles will not be taking that invitation if one is extended.
Well, I understand that, and I think that it's a decision we have to make in today's climate. So what I think you guys should do is go to Disneyland instead as a team, maybe. That might be a lot more fun. Now, one of the things that I want to ask you is, you know, you went from just a few months ago where you were at in this mindset of like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen, to being a Super Bowl champion. Like, what's next? What do you hope for next?
I was kind of talking about that. I was like, what do you do when you're 30 and you accomplish your like lifelong dream goal?
Yeah.
And now you have to come up with a new dream to chase after for the next 30 years, you know?
Yeah, people don't really prepare you for that, do they?
No, they don't have classes for that.
No, they don't.
They really just kind of throw you out there and tell you good luck. And, you know, if you succeed, you succeed. If not, you're flopping on the deck like a fish.
Are you figuring it out still?
I am.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever really figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the greatest thing about growth and the challenge of life is there's so many different avenues.
Yeah.
You know, hundreds of different languages, so many different countries to visit. You know, there's always something for you to be able to fill your time with.
More football?
I hope so. A couple more years at least.
Good.
I'm going to ride it until the wheels fall off, see if I can't get another one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you still love it.
Hardware.
If your dream was to win one Super Bowl, why not make it a dream to win a few? Why not? It's a good dream, right? Is it true that you never or would not go to a Super Bowl game ever unless you were the one playing?
Right.
Is that true?
It was something that I decided a long time ago. Back in 2011 when I was picked up by the Houston Texans, and I found out that you got 2 tickets as a player in the NFL. You had the ability to purchase 2 tickets to the game. And I told no,
like, not gonna do it.
I'll go for the, you know, media and, you know,
the parties.
Yeah,
those are fun.
The get-togethers,
the gatherings. Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, I wasn't about it. I told myself that if I was gonna see or experience a Super Bowl, I didn't want it to take away from anything that I was. If there ever was a chance that I played in it, I wasn't gonna. I wanted it to all be the first.
I get it.
To be the first.
I totally understand that you wanted to be the one playing. You didn't want to be a spectator, and here you are. I mean,
and then the decision would have been if I didn't play, I probably never would have gone to a Super Bowl after that because I don't feel like I would have been able to deal with that, knowing that I wasn't able to make it.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
I wanna ask you one thing, and you know, I know you got to run and do lots of other press, but
I'll sit here and hang out with you all day.
All right, let's do it. We have 3-4 hours.
All right,
cool. Then I got some more questions. So bring that other list out, list of 20. So, you know, imagine there's a 10-year-old kid who wants to be a football player, right? Or anybody, but, you know, wanting to achieve the dreams. Knowing what you know now and knowing the rough ride you've had, what do you tell that kid?
There's definitely an easier way to do it than I did it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It sure is. Huh?
Everybody's got their own yellow brick road.
Yeah.
You know, and every day you wake up and you just have to lay another brick. Keep going. Before you know it, when you look back, you'll see you have your own yellow brick road. And sometimes this long winding road, you can kind of wander off the beaten path. But as long as you keep your goals in front of you, as long as you know and understand that things don't happen overnight, not for everybody. You might be able to find the one anomaly out there where it did happen for somebody overnight that didn't have to wait decades, years, however long it takes for you to be able to accomplish something.
Yeah.
But the effort and the time once you do reach your goal is worth it.
It's interesting that you say that, because I interviewed an actress once. She's pretty well known, and we were kind of talking about her career, and she's like, I'm telling you the truth. She's like, I came to LA, and 2 years later I was on a soap opera, and she's like, and I really didn't struggle. I really didn't have to suffer. I just did it. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. You realize how lucky you are? She's like, I don't really think I'm lucky. She's like, to tell you the truth, she's like, I don't think I loved it enough to struggle for it. She's like, it just happened, and I did it. She's like, I didn't love it enough to struggle. If I had to struggle, I wouldn't be here right now. Isn't that crazy?
I love that.
Yeah.
I
She's
love
like,
that.
I didn't love it enough to struggle for it. She's like, that's why I'm here.
Because there's been plenty of times where I remember being a broke college kid and just having so many different opportunities presented to me to where I could actually make money, and I wouldn't have to worry about how I was going to pay my bills or eat the next day. But football was always there, and it was always the number one priority. It didn't matter if I could eat or not. All I was thinking about was football. It was going to be football all the way.
Yeah, and it's just so fascinating because
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, isn't that good? She hit the nail on the head.
That is.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you really do love something, if you're passionate enough for it, you're willing to sacrifice a lot, starve for it.
Yeah. And she was like, and in her position and what she's doing, and I'm going to keep her name private, but she really is very successful. And when you look at her career, you're like, whoa, this woman, she's an amazing woman. But when I said to her, because I know so many people who are trying to get whatever it is they're getting.
Oh, they come from all over the place.
Yeah, everywhere. And have failed or have taken 20 years to get there. And she just like, I strolled into Los Angeles, and 2 years later I'm like, wow, you're so she's like, I just really didn't love it to struggle for it. She's like, it happened. And so I'm like, so what do you want to do now? She's like, there's other things that she actually wants to do. But it's fascinating because when I hear stories like yours, I love it because I think it's a relatability, and I think it's a side that I don't think a lot of people necessarily are thinking about right now. Yeah. Yeah, which is very cool.
I almost wouldn't want to, if I could go back and do something different, I don't think, like the way she explained that, I don't think I'd be here if I didn't struggle. Yeah. If I didn't fight adversity or face failure every single day, I don't think I'd be here.
At least not this strong of a person,
Right.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens next with you. Are you watching the Olympics right now?
So ice skating has always been something,
Yeah.
The figure skating's something that I've always done with my mom.
Yeah.
And
I love the figure skating. I was watching it with my niece this weekend.
The best part. It's the best part. I don't know why, but back when they, what was his name? Scott, the guy that did the first backflip.
Oh yes, what was his name?
Man. It was Scott, right? It was Scott something. I can't remember his name.
What is it? Hamilton. Scott Hamilton? Somebody can Google it.
He did.
But
he did the first backflip. I remember.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Like what?
Yeah.
No way. Did that just happen?
I know.
It was nuts.
Scott Hamilton. Yeah, you got it right.
The stuff that you can see them doing, and they're just on these little thin blades
little things.
and ice, and it's unbelievable.
I know. I was watching it with the figure skating with my niece this past weekend, and it was just so much fun because there's something, like I said, something about football. When you watch the Olympics, the whole world comes together for that. So you must appreciate that too.
Yeah. I mean, so the Olympics was actually something that I was contemplating in high school.
Oh, high school.
When it came to the decision, do I want to pursue track or football, my decision to go to Idaho was because Dan O'Brien had attended the University of Idaho, and he's, obviously a well-known decathlete.
Yeah.
And Idaho was like, come play football. We'll let you do track, this and that.
That's
and
pretty cool. I didn't
obviously
know that.
the grades were not there, so they were like, okay, you can't do track because you obviously
you need
can't
to study. You're like, what do I need to study for?
You're here for football, so track is now on the back burner. But it was something that I wanted to do. Being able to sprint and throw, jump. I was a pretty good jumper high jump, long jump.
You got the body mass and the
javelin,
strength for it. Yeah, you could be a good decathlete.
So I think I'll give it a try. We'll see how my shoulders feel after the NFL career.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Javelin.
Olympic gold medal, future Olympic. That could be your next dream.
The javelin. The javelin.
I like it.
See how I can get out there.
Truth, this is really funny. Somebody asked me the other day if I could play any sports in the Olympics. I said the javelin. How cool would it just be able to throw it? I can't throw it, but in like my head, I probably would want to, like a mile. Be like, get a super arm. It was really amazing talking to you. You've got so much that I think people can learn from, and I'm really so happy for you.
Oh, you're already kicking me off?
No,
you kicking me off the show?
Seth's kicking you off.
You didn't ask him about his hair at all.
Oh my God, I didn't ask you about your hair once.
Hey, leave it up to you to bring it up.
Mr. No Hair over there. Seth, whose hair is prettier?
Jealous.
Whose hair is prettier?
Oh, let me see.
I know. This is going to be tough.
It's close.
It's close, right?
It is
I'm going to
close.
give it to him. He's won a Super Bowl, so he gets it.
We can go back and forth all day about that.
Brian's also a fashionista.
Oh.
Look at the bags behind you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. So he walked in with a bunch of bags of clothes, and he's like, I've had such a rough day.
He has a passion for fashion. He does.
Passion for fashion.
Been shopping all day.
That's good. What's what you do when you're in New York? You got to shop. Like, you can't go anywhere without shopping here.
Oh, the boutiques are unbelievable.
You come with an empty bag and you leave with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything for Fashion Week while you're here?
We actually went to a fashion show. Mercedes-Benz had a fashion show last night, and we were able to sit in on that.
That's fun,
and,
right?
See some of the different stuff that they had coming out.
That's fun. Fashion Week's fun.
I've always had fun with it.
Yeah.
Doing the little modeling thing in
you model too.
college,
that's right.
It was fun. Abercrombie and Fitch, and tried to play off of that. I didn't hit it too big because again, football. The agencies were like, do this.
Your bone structure.
It's great. Like, oh, we need you to be this size and this size. Like, we need you to fit into these clothes. And I was like, well, that doesn't really work with my uniform.
And my football eating habits.
I need something. I need something a little
Just
different.
drop 50 pounds and you'll be perfect.
Yeah.
So
by tomorrow.
that could be another thing that I could explore.
You
when I don't have to be 250 pounds, I can possibly sit in.
Isn't that crazy? You'd have to lose like 100 pounds if you wanted to model. What's the most absurd thing that you've done modeling? Because I know some friends who are models, and there's some stuff that I've seen them do that I'm like, I know that they were probably like eating their pride in that moment. Was there anything that you had to do that you're just like, oh,
I mean, there's been some like behind the scenes shots and stuff of me like trying to adjust myself and just having my hands down my pants just with a bad look or something to where I'm like the pants are real tight and I'm bent over and it's just all crack. But it's when you're snapping that many pictures, sometimes you can get caught. But the good thing is you go through and discard all of those. You get a laugh at
delete.
it.
You're
You
like,
get a
okay,
laugh
none of
at
this.
it. And go with the best ones.
There's one other football question. You've answered this many times, but probably not to this audience.
No.
He did a helmet-to-helmet hit without his helmet.
Wait, I heard. Actually, yes, that's right.
You got to talk about that.
Yeah, you lost your headgear, and then you. Okay, let's talk.
It's a helmet. It's a helmet.
Helmet.
That's wrestling.
Headgear, helmet. You lost your helmet, and that was another thing that I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
You're like, I did that.
I guess that just shows how much I love it.
You're unstoppable. That's what they said.
The announcers kind of bashed me a little bit.
Yeah.
But hey, I love playing the game. They were like, oh, Bryan Braman didn't have his helmet on. That is your football instincts taking over and not your intelligence. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't just, like, awesome play. He was like, wait a minute. Is that a penalty? Like, are you able to throw a flag on that? Like,
you didn't have a helmet.
They actually put in a rule.
You have to hit with a helmet.
They made a rule change that if you lose your helmet and you continue, it's a 15-yard personal foul.
Because of what happened with you.
Yeah, because I mean, it had actually kind of become something that players, big time players have lost their helmet before. Marshawn Lynch and Jason Witten and stuff like that, and that's whether they're trying to go down or not go down, being tackled and continuing the play. But yeah, how the NFL is always trying to change the rule book and really trying to look out for player safety and stuff. It was fun, but I can't tell you I'd do the same thing if I was presented with the same. I just remember really saying like I just got blocked so bad that my coach, I have to do something.
Yeah.
My coach is going to be so mad at me.
Yeah,
Like,
so you're
this
just
is
like, I got to do it.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
the returner showed up on the sideline, and I wasn't going to let him score a touchdown. You know,
No, and she sure didn't. And now there's a rule against doing that ever again.
Sacrifice for the team.
That's great. I know. I remember. Thanks for bringing that up, because I remember, you know, that, and I forgot to bring it up because we have so many other things to talk about. But yeah, no. I mean, I'm really, you know, I wish you the best. I hope that you're back again with another Super Bowl in a year.
Thank you.
You know, we can talk more. And we didn't ask one hair question, so that was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. That's probably the biggest reason why I'm going to come back.
Exactly.
Because
So
I
we had
wasn't
to
bombarded without. I haven't gone anywhere without having a hair comment or question.
I love it. Well, I think I avoided it because I think we had other stuff, good stuff to talk about. You have got a lot of stuff that people that can really learn from. You know, like keeping that strength and that perseverance and that mindset up no matter what. And just what you said earlier. You know, whenever you get low, keep those low times short. You know? Yeah. Great. Where can people find you on social media?
Bryan Braman 56.
All right.
At Bryan Braman 56 IG, and I don't spend too much time on my Twitter.
Yeah.
But they're connected. Facebook, Bryan Braman.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
I've had a great time talking to you. The whole audience here has. Everyone's got me. Yay!
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you.
That's great.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy here. Yeah. That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Loved it. Let's take some photos. Would you mind sending me some photos? You took some great
definitely.
ones.